Hello everyone, here's your weekly U.S. weather outlook here on landscapetoday.net. This is what we're watching for you in the week ahead. It's going to be wet for the east and Florida, which could use some rain. Been pretty dry in the east lately, but some showers and thunderstorms and cooler weather's coming. It's going to be cold enough for snow in the high Rockies, and even far northeastern areas of the USA and New England could have some late spring snows. It's going to continue to be very wet in the Rockies, portions of the Plains, and Corn Belt. And while there won't be a lot, there is some precipitation coming for California and the Pacific Northwest in the next week to 10 days. Here's the current jet stream pattern. We can see this trough along the west coast. This is going to be a big weather maker later on. High pressure is building over the west, while a cool area of low pressure in the Great Lakes and Midwest going to bring a cool wet weather pattern early in the week to this portion of the United States, where it will be much warmer here in the Rockies and High Plains. That'll help melt some late spring snows in places like Denver and many of the central and northern Rockies. This system off the west coast is going to head inland, and it's going to end up being a fairly big weather maker. It's going to produce what should be some extensive areas of precipitation in this part of the nation over the coming days. Heaviest probably across Colorado, portions of Wyoming, Kansas, and Nebraska. Some of it will be in the form of wet snow. This system here could take rain and snow and mix it together in some areas of the far northeast. And then areas of needed rain will be breaking out here as well as here over the next 5 days. Looking ahead at day 10, we see that high pressure extends up into the Gulf of Alaska, but low pressure moves into the central portions of the United States. This will lead to warm weather in the southeast, continued wet and cool weather in the northern Rockies and the northern Plains states into early next week. This system here will likely take a track like this and could offer more chances of some light to moderate rains for California and the west coast in about a 10-day time frame. The precipitation forecast over the next week, heaviest in a west-east band right across the nation's midsection. That's where the storms are tracking the most, and that's where the heaviest precipitation will be. The Sierras will continue to get some late spring snows. Snowpack conditions in the northern Sierra around 120% of normal. And we're going to be able to add to those totals a bit. Usually May is when we really see precipitation decrease in California and along the west coast, but at least through the early part of the month, I think the chances of light to moderate rains in California and mountain snow is a good bet. Across the central Rockies, some of this will be snow in the higher elevations of Colorado and Wyoming this Mother's Day weekend. Looks like some pretty wet weather here. This could slow down some planting in the Corn Belt and western areas of the Midwest. And here's some of those needed rain areas for the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. And some areas of the Northeast, especially up around here, could get some late spring snows, maybe even as far south as the higher terrain down here. Something that we're going to keep an eye on. So it's going to be a busy pattern as you'd expect it to be in spring. Thanks for tuning in to landscapetoday.net. I'm day weather meteorologist Don Day.